What's the biggest obstacle that is stopping you from achieving X? Right? What's the biggest obstacle that's stopping you from achieving X? So what is X? X is that variable that will help you figure out what you actually want to achieve. Okay, when you are going towards something and then you feel so much internal resistance within you, you don't feel the motivation to go after it. It's because you have chosen the wrong X. How do you figure out what the right X is? Okay, how do you figure out what the right variable of what you actually want is? Up until yesterday, my main intention was to sell filmmaking workshops, was to sell scriptwriting courses, filmmaking courses. But for about 6 to 8 months now, I've not been feeling motivated to actually sell it, right? I was doing this 8-week coaching with a student where I was helping him make his first short film over video calls. And I would give him tasks to complete, scripts to finish, and he actually finished making it. But every time I was on a call, I could feel something from inside that was telling me, shit, I want this to get over, I want this to get over. And for a long time now, I felt like quitting, but I didn't quit it because I felt like quitters are losers. Then yesterday I asked myself, why do I actually want to teach people filmmaking? Why do I want to teach people how to write scripts? And the first thing that came to my mind was money, right? The reason I wanted to teach people how to make films is so that I can make some extra dough and improve my lifestyle. And that is the worst why ever. The worst why ever. The worst why you are doing this, why you're doing that. And if it's money, man, you are not going to feel motivated to push through when times get tough. So I decided, as of today, I've decided to pivot. I'm stopping all promotions, all emails related to filmmaking, and focusing completely on the self-improvement market. So what I want to do, what motivates me, is to put a message out there that shifts the mindset of a person. And I'm not coming at you with a message saying that I'm completely perfect, I'm the best. Man, I have a lot of flaws. I have so many flaws in me. But it's the effort that you put to recognize this flaw, stop it from destroying your momentum, and then slowly start cleaning out these vices and flaws in your life that then teaches you something which you can then put it out to the other world, put it out to the world in front of you. I spent 2 years. I'm still in the midst of finishing this short film that I've been working on for 2 years. When I set out to make it, I had a 60-page script. But as I kept shooting, I started cutting out content from it because either the locations were not available or the actors did not have time. So I had to condense that storyline into something that I could show. And what I thought was going to be a 60 to 70 minute film is coming down to less than about 20 minutes. Now, it's not something that demotivates me because in these 2 years, man, I spent about 8 months living in a paying guest accommodation that was riddled with bed bugs and that was charging me 11,000 rupees because I did not have a place to stay. I then shifted. So the entirety of the shooting, right? The entirety of the shooting, I did not sleep a single night because every night I was getting bitten by bed bugs. I would go to work and then somehow salvage energy on the weekend and go and shoot. And every time I reach that weekend and shoot, it's bliss. But then when I go back to my day job, all I'm thinking about is finishing the film. And in this process, I learned that you can only focus on the next 4 days and the next 40 minutes and the next 40 days. Thinking beyond this is only going to lead you to become paralyzed. And the only way you get results is you act and a result comes to you. And then I came up with this thing called the 40-day mindset, which is every 40 days, I'm going to write 3 goals on a document. which is in my phone, which is a notepad, and I will screenshot it and put it in my phone. So my full focus is taking 1 or 2 to 3 actions every day to achieve those 3 goals. When I started this out, I had a list of about 8 big goals that I wanted to do, which is something that did not click because my energy was scattered. And then I found that 3 goals spread over 40 days is something that you can realistically achieve. And this is how you break a big project down. So I want to start generating leads for this transformation course that I'm doing. So my first goal is to set out an advertisement campaign that gets me 600 leads. So that's one goal. I then want to get a couple of clients for something that I'm doing on the side, which is media buying. So that's one goal. And finishing my post-production of my movie, which is one goal. Finishing the post-production of my movie has been there on my 40-day list since February. So February, I thought by March I would have finished it. And it's not like I wasn't doing it. Every day I was editing, but it didn't get over because there was more to do. March to May, same thing. May to April, same thing. I did not finish it yet. So it's not that you have to finish what you have set out to achieve in these 40 days. It's just that you are focusing on the right direction. So you are putting momentum into an action. And what I learned was the things that I'm doing today will not bear fruit tomorrow or day after. Most likely it's going to bear fruit maybe 7 to 14 days from now. So the actions that I'm taking today. So when you are doing sales, there are 3 phases of sales. A person sees my filmmaking workshop ad and says, I'm interested. I pick up the phone, call him. He says, okay, maybe I'd buy. And it's the follow-up. So one of my students, I was selling my filmmaking workshop and his name was Chetan. Chetan, I picked up the phone, called him, told him how much it costed, which I was selling it for 2,500 rupees. Sold. On the first one sold, the next day the payment came. But then there was this other guy called Mudassir. And he took a longer time to close. So from the time I called him, told him, see, hi Mudassir, this is my filmmaking workshop. This is what you're going to learn. This is the date and this is how much it costs. He said, cool. I waited for 3 days, no payment. Followed up with him, no response. Followed up with him again, no response. It took me a whole 14 days to actually get the payment from him and convince him to come to the workshop. So life is a lot like sales. You get a person interested in your product. So you have, in our case, we have an idea for something we want to manifest. And then we start doing one thing after the other, one thing after the other, one thing after the other to actually manifest this idea. Bringing me to a conclusion of this. What I think the best approach to getting some shit done in your life is to not try to do the whole thing at once, but keep it over there in front of you. Be over here today. Set a 40-day goal. Not finishing the whole thing, but making a percentage of progress in the whole thing, which will then allow you to start slowly moving, because nothing big happens overnight. It takes a lot of time. Progress in life is very slow and you have to accept it. To your success, Young Vivekananda.